woman of about 35 had been pulled along the frozen ground for some distance before being dumped so cruelly among the brambles and boulders. Her clothing indicated she wasn't some vagrant, and obviously was a woman of means. The victim was clothed in a black velvet dress trimmed in cream lace. Her shoes were of black suede and adorned with rhinestone buckles. The shoe from her right foot was found nearby, as were 2 white gloves. She also wore no coat, which seemed odd in winter. As police scoured the area, they found 2 crumpled newspaper articles featuring stories about the local political scandal of the day, an investigation into police corruption involving charges that the NYPD Vice Division was in cahoots with court officials and others to falsely accuse women of prostitution. One story mentioned how Governor Franklin D. Roosevelt was prepared to pardon all the falsely accused women. The newsprint containing the stories was fresh and not weathered, a sign that they weren't just random park litter, but maybe discarded around the time the dead woman was tossed away like garbage. Perhaps the victim had the articles with her when she died, or maybe some passer-by had discarded them. For the moment, the significance of the articles was of little importance, and cops scooped up the body and put it in a metal morgue container. Who was the mystery dead woman? Aside from her attire, which indicated she had been well off, police were stumped. Patrolman Daniel Sullivan was the first officer to arrive at the scene, and he found no identification papers or jewelry with the body. Clothing tags wouldn't indicate anything. A doctor from nearby Fordham Hospital estimated the corpse had been dead about 5 or 6 hours, which would have put the time of death at shortly after midnight on February 26th. Still, she was an unidentified corpse. Today, cops would be able to take a crime scene victim's fingerprints with their smartphones, electronically upload them to the massive New York State fingerprint databases, and quickly come up with a match if the victim had been known to the criminal justice system. But in 1931, the responding detectives went to the Fordham morgue and had to ink the dead woman's prints, a combination of unique whorls, peaks, and loops on each of her cold digits, and physically get them to NYPD headquarters in Lower Manhattan. Housed in a grand Baroque-style building on Center Street, police headquarters was the repository for thousands of fingerprint cards. Using an arcane manual filing system of pinpointing fingerprints, skilled analysts in the Bureau of Identification working in a windowless office had a way of zeroing in on the type of prints before them and, through a process of elimination, come up with a match. It was an art form in its own way. Still, the process took time, and several hours passed before detectives learned that the body in the park was that of a woman named Vivian Gordon. The fact that Gordon's prints were on file showed she was a person who had a history of involvement with police. Quite a history, as it would turn out. Born Benita Franklin and educated in a convent, Gordon was a one-time struggling pretty chorus girl, vaudeville performer, and occasional film actress who was part of an army of women, some talented, some not so much, who had become entranced with New York City during the Prohibition-era. Like the other women whose aspirations took them to Broadway, Gordon had visions of fame and fortune. The image of the jazz age popularized by the Great Gatsby, the good times, the parties, the speakeasies, and easy money ready to be picked up with little effort, created the vision of an elusive nirvana that Gordon and so many others sought. It might have been the Depression, but plenty of businessmen and gangsters had money to burn. The fingerprint check showed that Gordon had a minor police record containing 1 arrest for a prostitution charge in 1923. Her killing would be one of 343 in New York City for the year, the majority of which were by shooting, not strangulation. What really set off alarm bells ringing within the police department